Nigeria has 6 major operating seaports. Note the word, 6 major operating right now. Lagos Port Complex, Tinkan Island, and Lekki Deep Seaport. All 3 in Lagos State. Calabar Port in Cross River, Warri Port in Delta, River Port and Onne Port in Rivers State. On paper, that looks like a nation with the coastline properly shared in practice, right? But one state runs the show. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, Apapa in Lagos processed 71.6% of Nigeria's total trade value and 86.12% of all exports. The remaining 4 ports outside Lagos combined handle less than 15%. Calabar Port is the oldest seaport in this country. Goods were shipped from there to Europe in the 16th century, as far back as then. In 2025, its own port manager confirmed that not a single container vessel had docked there in 25 years. Not slow, not struggling, zero ship for 25 years. Meanwhile, according to the Nigerian Port Authority's own 2025 operational performance report, Lekki Deep Sea Port alone, sitting inside Lagos State, handle 40.6% of everything Nigerian port processed that year. Apapa added another 16.7%. 2 ports, both in Lagos, moved close to 60% of the nation's entire cargo throughout between them. Just those 2 ports. It sounds almost unbelievable, but I will get you more facts. I deal with facts. I don't deal with emotions. I don't deal with social media push around information. I source for my information. Here is how it actually happened. Government promises to fix Calabar's channel. It dates back to the Babangida administration from 1985 and the Abacha administration through 1998. 13 years, 2 administrations, and nothing was done. Not a contract, not a dredge. Just promises that went nowhere. In 2006, President Olusegun Obasanjo awarded a $56 million dredging contract to 2 foreign firms, Jan de Noo and Van Hod. That contract was abandoned in 2013. President Goodluck Jonathan government signed a new joint venture to try again, this time with a company called Niger Global Engineering in 2017. That contract was terminated too after Nigeria's own Bureau of Public Procurement flagged fraud in how it was awarded and non-compliance with procurement law. More than 26 years of effort to dredge just 84 kilometers of channel produced nothing but lawsuits and allegation of money disappearing into what one report called a conduit pipe. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, the NPA's own board chairman admitted on record that the Calabar dredging wasn't even captured in that year's federal budget and said the failure predated his own appointment, as if responsibility could simply be handed down the line forever without anyone actually fixing it. The story of Nigeria. A federal lawmaker representing Cross River put words to what an entire region has felt for decades. He said each time he remembers a seaport lying idle while Lagos booms, his stomach aches. He said it makes him think the federal government hates his people. People shouldn't feel like this now. They shouldn't get to this now. This is not only about Calabar. Listen, Nigeria has 7 proposed deep seaports sitting stalled right now. And here is the detail that should surprise you. I will give it to you one by one. One of them is actually in Lagos itself, and its history shows this was never simply a case of nobody trying. Lagos has another seaport called Badagry Deep Seaport and was first announced in 2015. And by 2019, the Nigerian Ports Authority own managing director at that time, Hadiza Bala Usman, cancelled the entire arrangement, revealing that the original master plan had been so badly drafted that the promoters attempted to seize government responsibility, like marine services for themselves. The matter ended up in court. The project was restarted, and in August 2022, the Federal Executive Council approved a fresh concession, this time worth $2.59 billion, with the Lagos state government publicly promising completion by the end of 2025. In early 2024, contractors actually arrived on site there with heavy machineries and all and began clearing land. Then, before the rainy season came, they left. And as of this recording, as I'm talking to you right now, the site sits untouched, no equipment, no workers, nothing. I know what? Nothing is being said about the money here. I want to make a point now. So look closely at the inside of that 2022 consortium, and a name I will mention again will appear. The Badagry Port Development Consortium include APM Terminals, the Maska Group, Oando Terminal Investment Limited, and the Kagori Group. Note this particular group. The same Kagori family whose company ITB Nigeria was awarded $1 billion renovation contract for Apapa and Tinkan Island. They were there at Badagry as well. Two of Lagos' biggest ports in the last 4 years. One name connects both of them. They were there for the Badagry. They didn't deliver. Now they've been awarded another contract. Even the industry itself has raised concern about how these deals are structured. The president of the Shippers Association of Lagos State called Badagry's 45 years concession period blind and said publicly that concessioning a port to one set of investors for that long shows it has, in his word, already been hijacked by the financiers hiding under the contracts. Oh, beyond Badagry, 6 more deep separate ports sit stalled nationally. A $4.6 billion Ibom deep seaport approved by the Federal Executive Council back in 2020 still went nowhere. A $1.3 billion Ondo port, a $462 million Bonny deep seaport, a $3 billion Age deep port, all abandoned or stalled. The Nigerian Port Authority own managing director has admitted publicly the country's regret directly. He said if the Badagry port has been built 16 years ago, Nigeria would have outpaced Ghana and would have outpaced Benin Port. Instead, roughly 60% of Nigerians' own maritime trade now moves through Tema in Ghana, Lome in Togo, and Cotonou in Benin Republic. Foreign ports profiting foreign economics because Nigeria could not finish what it started at home. So Lagos State is the only one benefiting. Other states are not benefiting. As a matter of fact, the economy is down, can't be compared to Lagos as usual, or because everything is centralized there. But listen, aside that, because Lagos alone cannot handle what comes into Nigeria, other countries close to us, Ghana is profiting from it, Benin is profiting from it, Cameroon, they all of them are profiting from it, because we are not ready to build, and we are selective when it comes to improving states. We pick a state and we run with it. And here is what all that neglect actually built over the years. While Calabar sat empty and Warri and Onne fought shallow on dredged channels, Lagos absorbs everything. The Nigerian Port Authority alone projected 1.489 trillion naira in revenue for 2026 after already collecting 1.97 trillion the year before. That was last year. Almost entirely concentrated in one state. Every ship that could not safely reach Calabar or Warri simply sailed further into Lagos instead. Every naira that should have been used to improve the life of all these people in Delta and Cross River, Onne, and everywhere, even on those states, all of them do what? They moved to Lagos. Lagos did not just grow. Lagos became what people now describe as a country inside a country, because for over 3 decades, the rest of the coastline was left to rot, while one state absorbs the entire nation's maritime wealth. There is real investment happening now to change this. A $2.9 billion expansion underway at One. New deep sea ports being developed in Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, Cross River and Ondo. But let's look at something. At where the biggest single commitment from the current government has actually gone. In October 2025, the Tinubu administration confirmed it had approved $1 billion, about 1.4 trillion naira, for the modernization of exactly two ports, Apapa and Tinkan Island, both in Lagos. The deal was signed during President Tinubu's state visit to United Kingdom, backed by a £746 million financing guarantee from a UK export finance. The company set to execute that renovation contract is ITB Nigeria, owned again by the same Chagori, a long-time associate of President Tinubu. I will bring that in, who was part of the delegates in London when the deal was signed, and who Tinubu had personally awarded Nigeria's second highest national honor just a few months ago. I brought that name in, and I remember at the beginning I asked you to take note of that name. It is coming in again. Stakeholders and opposition figures did not stay quiet about it, so people are talking about it. One businessman called it clear example of federal government's lack of commitment to developing the Niger Delta region. While ports in Warri, Port Harcourt and Calabar sit in their need of the same upgrade. The opposition, of course, ADC party, went further, calling the entire deal a Mugu deal. One they say benefits the UK's own steel industry and jobs while leaving Nigeria to carry the debt. To be fair, the government has not entirely ignored the other ports. So let's be straight. Somebody will bring it and say I didn't mention, so I'm mentioning it. In the past week alone, the Federal Executive Council approved 286 billion naira for separate maritime projects, including dredging of the Escravos Channel in Delta State, but set that number, put it place to place next to 1.4 trillion naira already committed to Lagos alone, and the gap speaks for itself. I am Patience Simen speaks. The facts are on the table and the conclusion is yours. I am not asking you to agree. I am placing before you facts. I'm giving you data as verifiable. You can go and confirm what I'm talking about now and see. I want you to drop a comment. For president, they all failed to dredge one single channel, and the current administration just committed 1.4 trillion naira more to Lagos alone. Is this incompetence, or is it a choice that keeps repeating no matter who is in power? Share this video and tag someone and let somebody see it. Please, I want you to follow me on my YouTube channel. My name is Patience Simen Smith there already. But when you are coming attack me for my post, just give me facts. When you give me facts, I'll give you facts for facts. When we go down, it is not war of emotion, neither is it of insult, but of intellect. People expressing themselves in an intelligent manner.